Take off your mask for one.
Sweet. So did you get the tape measure out, make sure we're 6 feet?
All right, I know we all
Was that Becky?
No, that was DA. She had zoning board of appeals meeting, and used that room. So that's what the little X is on for.
are. All mapped out, both meetings. Good.
What's that?
Okay, we're live on everything.
Well, otherwise I can't see what he's doing.
Okay, call the meeting to order, public safety, Wednesday, August 12th, 2020. The reason I'm here, the chairman asked me to sit in, Mike Cocaine can't be here. So those here in person on the committee are Mike Broom, myself, and Chairman John Nicholson, Jesse Partington in the room, Stacy Stewart in the room, Charlie Boomstruck, and Mike McBride. On Zoom, we have Kate White. Don't know who else.
Tim Dean.
Tim, you there?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, Denise, I'm sorry. Cheapers, I'm sorry. Denise McCaffrey's here. So that's our roll call. Has everybody got a chance to look at the minutes? Any additions or corrections? What, Mike?
We
Kevin
got,
Lally too.
Oh, Kevin. Okay, good morning, Kevin.
and we got a message from Katie here. John is right in the way of the camera.
All right, you're back.
John, all I see is your backside.
Hey.
Sure.
And Sheriff John Simon just arrived. Any additions or corrections to the minutes? If not, they'll stand approved. And visitors, I'll go over once again, John Symington, the sheriff, Jesse Parting Corner, Denise McCaffrey, Stacy Stewart, and Charlie Boone. I guess we'll just start with claims, Denise.
Okay. Pull up this here and is that all right?
I can get the one to John.
All right.
You want to give one to Mike?
Okay, let's,
You want to go through those and go back to John, and his job.
That's okay.
Okay, this is county general, so it's the whole one.
Okay, so county general, we have the IPFLI for $4,500.
The audit.
Then we have IACC Zone 4 for $75. Then we have for SBM supplies for $374.23. And then we have US bank card for $81.23.
Grand total, $5,874.48.
Well, thank you. Does Jim have to sign off on those or initial? Or?
Eventually, there'll be a sheet go around.
Well, I got the sheet here, but I
Oh.
can sign those. Mike?
Oh,
I initialed them. I didn't
That's
know we needed to.
should be good.
Okay, well, that's good.
So, we should all be signed.
Rookie here.
No, Learning process.
Denise is at 5874.48.
5874.48, yes. The next is court document storage, it's 07, all right, yeah, 07.
Monthly iFiber internet, we're at $267.78.
And that's it, 267.78.
Yes, sir.
The next is automation. And then 008.
Yep.
Basic electronic communications is the vendor for $16,865.93. Then we have Justice System Inc. CMS licenses for $16,300. And again, SBM for a copier maintenance and supplies for $72.
Grand total, $33,237.92.
Okay, some things going on. This is for video arraignment. This is not part of the phone system yet, so this is paid for as part of the money that I had set aside. Wasn't in the budget, so the budget is a little bit hit pretty hard with the phone system and video arraignment, but we're going to be able to handle that. The Justice Systems was additional license. We're finding that so many people are on the computer that if you didn't get a license and tried to get on, you couldn't get one. So we purchased some more strategically for some people who are read-only. They don't do and add anything, they just read or view. So that's what those licenses were for. I do want to ask something of the committee to just make you aware. In this pandemic time, when employees go to another state or go somewhere else, Judge Acker was actually going to do an administrative order. You leave the states to certain states and come back, you must be tested or quarantined. Well, because the states that she was worried about her always all the time, she said the order was moved because she could never keep it up. It would have to change all the time. So she asked each department to set up their own policy. So mine was, if you leave the state and come back, you have to be tested or quarantined. If you quarantine, that's your time, because if you get tested in just a few days, I mean, I'll pay for that, but I'll give you time for that, but I won't give you 2 weeks. Well, then KSB won't test unless you've got symptoms or unless you have been exposed. They won't do it just because you left town and came back. So I'm having some difficulty. I've had 4 employees tested for various reasons. They were a contact of a contact, or but this last one, the girl went on her honeymoon, went to Tennessee, came back. She got tested, but they took her insurance. They made her pay for it. They wouldn't test her. She had to go to another place to try to get tested. So I just don't know what the county is doing as far as insurance or covering those things. So, I mean, we're opened up now, but to stay open, we got to keep people safe. We got to keep people.
We talked to Lori more about that.
I only called, really, I've been just working with Kathy Ferguson on what's the procedure. Who do I call and what do I do to get people tested? I didn't call Kathy's office, and that's a good suggestion. This is just.
But it's not up to our office.
No.
No, I know that.
I just didn't know how it
Oh,
related
no.
to your insurance, no.
No,
What did Schreiber, or did KSB specifically say? We won't just voluntarily test people?
Won't test, no. she had to go to a walk-in clinic. So the question would have been, does the insurance cover it, is all?
They would have to contact the insurance company.
Okay,
How about the public, health department, the Lee County Health Department, would they be able to do those?
They don't have the ability.
They don't
to,
have.
I don't think.
that I know of. I mean, I called Kathy, she didn't say, oh, yeah, well, sit down. She didn't do that.
The other part of that, Denise, is kind of that we're all working with, and I know Charlie's been part of this as well, is the timekeeping issue. So if we
Right.
do quarantine, and are they going to use their own time? How do you force them to use their own time? By
Exactly,
telling them that they're going to stay home for 14
Right.
days after going to one of these targeted areas. Yeah, and that's the struggle that Judge Afric had when she was writing this policy, I know, and
It
we're
is
all
a
kind of in the same boat, so I think it would have to be a county level decision on how that was going to go.
Talk to the insurance company.
Yeah.
That's the first one.
you know what, because if it's covered, we're happy that this is gonna be the entire year and probably
Oh, yeah.
part of next. And so people have to use vacation time. This girl got married, well, she,
And see, again, just to call the insurance company, the insured themselves are gonna have to be the ones to make that call
okay,
in order to talk to anybody.
yeah.
So, you have to be up to the individual to make that call.
I just, I don't know what is covered. There should be somebody that.
We'll have to find out who does.
What
who
our
will
policy
cover it,
is.
What they will cover. How much was the cost?
I was over $100.
And if then they set it on until the test comes
Until
back.
the test comes back.
And you are willing to pay that?
Well, I'm willing to keep everybody safe.
Sure.
That would come in contact with anyone in anyone in the office. And I've got people at risk in the office. One person recovering from cancer. And so she's highly at risk.
Mhm.
And somebody else might be too, and they don't even know it. That's the unknown of what we're doing.
I realize the process has to come to the individual, but let's find out what the insurance company has to say.
Well, this,
Does that sound right, your chairman?
To me, it does. It's a catch-22 really.
yeah.
If they have to get it clarified, I
Again,
know.
you hear of all the tests that are not charged for, you just get it, but I don't know where that's at. Apparently, it's not at KSD.
I'm really surprised KSB.
Well, yeah, they wouldn't even, I don't know if they would charge if
Yeah.
you had symptoms and if you were exposed, I don't know.
Yeah.
But the walk-in clinic does.
But the insurance thing aside, even when you're considering just the policy portion of this, if you have somebody that it's a 24-hour turnaround on a test, that doesn't absolutely mean they're out the woods though either.
Right.
So testing aside, you still have to look at whether or not they should be quarantined. If they're quarantined, are they using up their own time or are they?
Right.
Something else? Yeah.
And against the honor system.
Well, and current IDPH guidance says, is what Charlie said, is they recommend quarantine because that first test could come back negative. But as you go through that quarantine process, you start developing those symptoms and you'll test positive in 7, 8, 9, 10 days. That's why they have that 14-day quarantine.
Yeah.
So that's the struggle we're going to have as a county until a decision's made on the time that's used. Is it going to be benefit time or is the county going to pay them to stay home? And that's up to you.
And another fact, I don't know, is it reimbursable with the COVID funds that are available? In other words, if we pay them, is the COVID gonna reimburse us for paying them for being off the 14 days? Is
My
that,
opinion only, Jim, is that if they voluntarily went to one of these areas, I doubt it.
Yeah.
If we sent
Agreed.
them there
agreed,
as
yeah.
a job function, maybe that
Sure.
would be different.
But
Understand, yeah.
we've got all those weeks, we had people stay home, that they stayed home because we said so.
Yeah.
So those might be, if it is reimbursable, those weeks might be.
I don't know.
But I think just coming in here when I shouldn't be, but for what you're saying, then, you're gonna run into that, well, Denise's office, they have to quarantine, Kathy's office, they don't.
Yeah.
So I think what you're asking is a policy across the board,
What are we?
and that's something we don't have.
Right. Well, and it's not something a year ago we would have imagined. So it's not even been on the table till now.
It'll be kicked to executive tomorrow. We'll try to,
Well,
in the meantime, get some background information on hopefully what to do.
the fact is, we are glad to be open, but now how do we stay open safely?
Yeah, all that aside, even if you have an employee that goes on a 2, 3, 4 week-long vacation, they come back and they have to quarantine for 2 weeks, I'm out of employee for 3 weeks.
Right.
But I don't know about anybody else, but I wouldn't be able
I
to
can't
do
do
that.
that. Yeah. No. You know, and like I have one who goes to the same cabin every single year. It's just her and her family. They even take their food. They don't even stop it. You know, they might get gas on the way, but that's it. According to the stories, I mean, I don't know. I don't go. But that's the typical family plan, unlike somebody who goes to the beach with 100 other people from God knows where and what they're exposed to.
Other Bassett will have to do some research.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much for the,
Any questions for Denise? Okay, thank you.
thank you.
I'm so sorry.
Great day.
These are all your plans for the judges.
Okay, we thought maybe they'd be down there. Yep,
They were.
okay, all right,
Thank
good
you.
enough. Sheriff, Simon.
Yes, sir. Cover sheet.
You want to do, cover sheet, yeah?
Yes, 6 feet. That's-
What the new guy be.
Yeah. Or you want me to just give you the total on this sheet, or you want me to read off?
Is that the medical one?
This is correction healthcare, yeah.
How do you set that up, John? How did you read that?
But he's just got the total dollar amount on this sheet. I didn't know if you wanted me to read off what.
No, it's total rounding.
Or, so for the advanced correction healthcare, $6,442.33. Jake, I'll purchase that. Amisquita for clothing, $164.85. Butch River Foods, a total of $2,201.95. Firefighter, $222.06. Century Lane for $539.95. LIESA dues for $120. Maria's Pizza, $1,162. Mueller Pinehurst for $385.25. Oliver's Corner Market, $6,113. Olivia Lawson, $67.13 for food. Secretary of State Index Department for notary, $10. Sewing by Debbie. For clothing, $91.
Mike, the next list of about 8 are all the US Bank credit card charges, so you'll have those probably listed individually by every person, what's named, so on and so forth.
Okay,
So just kind of give you a heads up, they're gonna be all grouped together.
all right. So do you want me to read those all individually, John, or you want me to just do the total?
No, the total, make sure the receipts.
All right.
At the end. It's under the-
Okay, so, return check to LCSO from US Bank is $6,991.62. Got a Wex card, $5,224.44.
Mike, you wanna go back up to the top? I know you just gave a total of the credit card, but I think John will need each individual, we'll say,
Yeah.
auto repair, $566.71. I see where it says that.
Yeah, I see that. I thought.
I got it.
All right. So auto repair, $566.71, supplies, $3,794.66. Maintenance is $909.27, training is $706.75. Postage was $49.20. Food was $612.64. And clothing is $352.39. Quick question, John. Food, is that in addition to the other food with all these others? That's just, yeah, okay. Just want to make sure. All right, so we already did the Wex, correct, John?
Yep.
All right. Johnson Oil, $27. AED Essentials, $2,494. Got a new AED or?
Yeah, it's one for the new courthouse and shop. So that'll be a separate total, that last item, AED essentials, because it comes out of the court fund. The rest of claims that Mike read off, will come out, obviously, the sheriff's office.
I got total, Jim. It was $29,762.58.
Got it.
And then other one, I had separate, 2494, and I had the bill.
Thank you, sir.
Which one was that, John?
That came out of the tort fund, and that was for a new, that was a new AED, I assume, purchased for the new courthouse.
Can I add that on here? That's not included in the 29, right?
No, it's not.
No,
It's a separate.
Should we add that onto
is
here?
there a line item in there for that tort?
I
fund?
don't see one for the tort.
Is there an other line? They're all different depending.
I'll just put it under the, I'll just write tort, and put it under there. You can give me
Under
the,
the 24. Then?
Yeah.
$2,494.
okay.
Couple quick things, maybe.
I got Just for your awareness, a couple things that are going on at the sheriff's office. We had a couple weeks ago, I had a fugitive manhunt, a couple weeks of manpower with a lot of other agencies around here. We ended up getting to that we wanted to murder down in South Carolina. Most recently, last Friday, Falls PD had a chase, in Lake County. County. Unfortunately, the case ended with the suspect getting one of our deputies broadside in intersection 8826. It was a very, very high-speed accident. Our deputy was lucky to walk away without just bruises and bumps and extremely sore. It's going to be off for about a week to 10 days. The squad car had about 7,000 miles on it, and it's, I believe it's going to be total. The adjuster's supposed to be out this week to take a look at it, but it's pretty heavily damaged, including some of the equipment inside the squad. So that'll be something we'll be working through with our insurance to try to get that replaced and along with the associated equipment. Also, we're coming into the budget time where we're going to have our hearings soon. I have not yet met with Bob and Jim, but I know we will be. A couple of things just for this committee to know what we're looking at from the sheriff's office side is, unfortunately, with the passing of Marty recently, I have talked with Jesse about the possibility of sharing a resource, being a secretary with his office and mine. For the past couple of years, I've talked about trying to have a second full-time secretary due to the budget. That's difficult to do, but the work is certainly warranted there. I've got chief deputy doing all kinds of payroll and timekeeping, holiday, sick day, all kinds of stuff administratively that can free him up to do his job along with other associated duties. And I really don't have anybody that can replace Devin when she's gone on vacation. So in light of that, and being able to use the secretary for those purposes, along with other issues, Jesse also has the need of a secretary as well. So we thought about the possibility of combining the duties of sheriff's office secretary and coroner's office secretary, and having them housed in our office as well. This is the retirement also of Sandy Target. So my question,
I was going to say that, because
which we talked about last month. So that's something that I talked to Jesse about as recent as yesterday. I think he's in agreement with, we got a few things we want to probably work out as far as, sharing the duties and how we're going to work that out. But she does have an office space in our office. If Jesse's amenable to that, obviously he'll have access to the office as well as the deputy coroners at any time. Collectively, we work together on a lot of the calls that Jesse's department goes on anyway. I would say probably 75% of the time we're out there as well. So it is one of those ancillary duties that we work together anyway. So that's something that we're going to try to propose this IM and I think Jesse's student budget hearings. The cost savings there, between hiring a full-time secretary, eliminating my part-time secretarial salary as well, we could save, somewhere between $8,000 and $10,000, depending on the rate to start that new secretary. And that is also contributed to what Marty's as well. So there is some cost savings involved in that. But it's something we're going to propose.
So will it be just shared budgetary wise, John? In other words,
to make it clean,
you pay part and Jesse just come out of this too.
well, we talked about that. I think I talked to Bob and Paul a little bit more about that. It's cleaner just to keep it in my budget. We could. We'll just see how they want to work that out as far as how.
Okay.
Yeah. I wouldn't be opposed to it either way.
Yeah.
But from an accounting standpoint, it might be cleaner to just keep it in my budget. So, Jesse, you have any more?
I don't, just, would you, and I know maybe this is deep into it, but would you move this office? What are your thinking?
Whatever you would need to have over there to have files accessible, and we've got plenty of cabinets and things like that, but whatever you need
I
over
mean, we
there,
could always use this still stored.
you certainly could.
We could maybe free up those offices. I've always said, last year's budget time, I was talking to Tom Gibson, I think Bobby, and I said that I think my office could probably run part-time 3 days a week with a secretary in there, between myself and whoever we get to do that. We could definitely take care of the paperwork.
So basically what you're talking is giving up some of that office space down there, consolidating some of it back into, with like the meeting room there.
Yeah, I would just, basically, my supplies, take up a lot of space, body bags, my records that I have to keep. I have to keep everything on paper file. So I've got a ton of records at the new courthouse too in the basement, so I need the space for storage. But I could give up at least one or two of those offices. That works. So, because right now I have three offices with 3 computers, and I don't need 3 offices. So I can do everything.
I was gonna say, I assume Bob or Jim's gonna be talking to you in a week or 10 days in regards to budget. Who was assigned to you?
I have to go back and look. I'm on the 26th.
I don't remember.
Jim, she wanted-
Jim.
She like that? Okay, so.
That worked out good, actually, because he and Bob are coming.
Yeah, you got a common denominator there, and they should be able to hash that out, and they can bring it to the budget.
That'd be all right to have your, working out the LEC, Jesse, then, as far as.
Yeah, I don't have any problem with that.
And I can set up temporary gigs for Jesse if he needs to come out there, do whatever he needs to do for a period of time. I know you probably still have your office back here, but if you need to come out there and do your secretary, we've got an extra desk in the detective's room, detective conference room, you can use for privacy, what you need out there as well. So we can work through those logistics should this happen. The other thing I'll be talking about at the budget hearings, just so this committee's aware, is the inmate meal costs have gone up, which we kind of anticipated moving to the new building and increase in inmates, especially after COVID. So we're looking at food service now, and we're going to bring that up at budget hearings as well. Our costs are going to be over $100,000 this year in inmate meal costs. And so we're looking at food service to do this, not just for the cost part of it, but also the time it takes for us to order from a variety of different cost vendors, I should say, local and statewide. It takes anywhere from 8 to 10 hours out of the jail superintendent's week to just order food, and to have that prepared properly, to also meet the dietary standards and the jail standards now. And with COVID, there's a lot more restrictions from a health department standpoint as how many people are handling these food from start to end. So the food service industry, what we're looking at right now, actually with the Southern College and other jails throughout Northern Illinois, talked to a couple sheriffs that use them. They're all correctional standard certified to prepare and issue food. We'll have a trustee working with them should this come to fruition, which will help offset some of the costs. So it's something, again, I'll talk about at budget hearings. And I think it's, unfortunately, it's probably the right way to go. I hate to give up the local vendors, but because of the increase in cost and the handling of food, the time it takes to do this, I think it's right now being efficient at food service and that are certified to actually handle food. We've also had some issues with the diet of some of the inmates, with regards to their diabetes or other health concerns that they may have that we have to take to the hospital now for special needs for their diet. So again, food service can handle all of the special dietary needs. I guess the last thing I got is another part of the budget, but this is for this year, is the overtime, part-time, and of course the inmate meal costs are going up. They're not coming down. The overtime is going up partially because I have we could take a vacation during COVID. So all the vacation time has gotten backed up for some of what the needs is facing right now. So we got to give them some time off. And having 3 deputies in the academy right now, one just returned from the year deployment, and one who just had extended deployment for 3 months. So I'm very short staffed, and anytime anybody goes on vacation, takes any time off, it's overtime. Period. So I just can't work around it right now with the staffing shortage. I just want to give this community a heads up on a wonderful face.
Question on that, with the individuals coming back from duty status, do they have to go on a quarantine for 14 days?
They do, Mike.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
Which just makes
Adds
sense.
to their time.
Yeah. And have you checked into the price of the catering?
Yes.
And is it going to be pretty comparable to what we're spending now?
It's going to be about 40,000 more per year,
Okay.
based on what we're going to be spending this year. I anticipate maybe a little bit less. And that all depends on your average daily population. So
Sure.
it'll go up and it'll go down just a little bit.
So I'm looking at it, average cost of about 40,000 more. But again, it's not just the cost, it's those other things that I'm really concerned about right now. And as far as the jail standards, we're getting those tick marks on the inspection report because we aren't meeting those calorie counts.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
having the dietary food that's coming in, it should be coming in for those that have special needs for their diet. And the handling of food service is a biggie right now. Even before COVID was big, but after COVID, it's unbelievable.
So the outfit, you would think about having coming in, they manage all the calorie counts and so that we wouldn't get
Correct.
gigged on it as far as the calorie, they do all that.
Yeah, it's pretty slick. They got template built for all the jails, and you know exactly what you're looking at. They have things prepared. So we have extra inmates coming in, and others have extra food and we're prepared and ready to go. In the event you got somebody who comes in late at night or in the morning, food service isn't there yet, so you can still feed the inmates. Yeah, so it's a pretty slick company, and we've interviewed a couple of them. So trying to find the best fit for cost and what they can do for us, and being receptive, being local, so that we can be here when we need it.
Food trucks can go in the kitchen, you go out there, farm side.
They order all the food,
They do
everything.
Yeah, and every item you saw on our claims today that had anything to do with inmate food service will go with, they take care of every bit of that. We don't have to order from all the Finders, Maria's, Oliver's, and all these other entities that we order from, that all come through the food service.
They set the menu.
Right.
So then your cost would even be less when you consider that your supervisor for the jail system is putting in 8 to 10 hours. If you take in his salary for those 8 to 10 hours, that's going to lower your cost, additional cost. So there's other savings that we can come by doing this. That is not right on the paper.
It'll help with, the cell checks, and it's something that we're always struggling with, every 30 minutes or 15 minutes for juveniles. And everything associated with the food service, it just takes a lot of time. This is much more efficient. So that's about all I got. Unless you got any questions.
Real quick, John, Department of Corrections,
Yes.
they're not accepting any of our people that are ready to go in. Apparently, I saw, and,
They are now.
oh, they are.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
We had a lawsuit, which all the sheriffs in the state against the governor's office and the attorney general's office. We ended up getting a favorable outcome from that. So the prisons did have to open their doors to us. Unfortunately, when that happened, you can imagine the influx of all the jails wanting to bring inmates to the associated reception centers, which did flood. So all the reception centers south of us stopped taking inmates on the second day because we had somebody coming in. Cook County, for instance, up north, they had 350, 375 inmates ready to go the first day. So obviously we can't take that. So we have been able to successfully in Lee County take the inmates that were sentenced to the OC to the reception center of Stateville. And so far we're seeing pretty good.
Okay, good. So they're not here.
Good. And over there, we still have a couple waiting DHS, and Charlie's working with me on that. And so other than that, we're sitting a lot better as far as those. Now we're still waiting another ruling in regards to any costs associated with housing those sentenced inmates in the county jail for the time period that we did. How that's going to be worked out, I don't know yet. So we'll see how that.
It just made sense that you're following all the protocol and everything like that. They still wouldn't. Okay. Good. That's great. Good to hear. Blessed for us. Any other questions for John? Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Next up, Jesse.
Hey, sir.
So you'll notice that I've asked Marty in the past, I don't know, a few months to take off that $50 cell portion of mine. So I made the adjustment today. That will no longer be on there. So appreciate that.
Okay, EMS at Dixon, $200. Telephone landline, $135.63. Telephone answering service for $214.88. Supplies, body bags, fuel, $369.24. And forensic pathology services, autopsies for $1,500.
Total $2,419.75.
That gotta be Dr. Peters. Anything else, any, Okay, state's attorney, Mr. Boonstra.
Can't wait. Who should I get to?
Yeah, you want me to take control?
I'm going to do it.
BW? All right. Thank you, sir. Sure.
This is
Say OPW or OPW?
OVW, yeah.
OVW. That's OVW grants. That is,
There should just be one for the OVW.
right.
So that's the only grants, or we got other?
And then
There's other grants, but it's the only,
Yeah, they got it on here, put the grant separate, I believe.
yeah, the Veteran Treatment Court.
The rest you just forget about.
Okay, all right.
So for the OVW grant expense, it's $625 people.
Okay, so 625.
And this is for the VCT grant expenditures. We have one for 800. One for $675. Michael Meyer. Rosecrans, $12,400.
Those first two were for rent reimbursement that the Veteran Treatment Court covers, and this last one would be for treatment.
And then we have one for Mississippi Center for $442.72. And next is Mississippi Centers for $500. That should be it.
Okay, that's a grand total of 14,817.72.
You say rent reimbursement. Michael Myers.
No, rent reimbursement would be through a participant of Veteran Treatment Court.
Okay.
These are that's all the grants.
Correct. The rest would just be the office expenses.
Yeah.
Okay, Coex Health, contractual services for $138.28.
It's for some medical records that we submitted.
Leaf, contract services for $479.16. Lori Middleton, $64. Sauk Valley Media, $313.95. Sauk Valley Media, $213.85. SBM Supplies, $253.83. US Bank for maintenance,
This would be on the vehicle the office uses for going back and forth if there's special prosecutions or if there's conferences or whatever we use. The reason that this one is as high as it is because during COVID, we weren't using the car very much because we were in shutdown. So what happened was that the car battery ended up going dead and had to replace it. The car battery was not cheap.
$1,035.33.
How much?
$1,035.33. It's not hybrid, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a hybrid.
Oh, yeah.
I was just gonna say.
That's why it's
paid
not,
$110
that's why it's
for it
expensive.
not long ago, it felt like it's buying.
Gel
Yeah.
Cheap. And another US Bank, Marathon, $32.82. US Bank postage, $301. Yes,
I know you probably do, Charlie.
Yep.
US Bank supplies, $162.
So this one is for, a couple people in the office are getting notaries or becoming notaries. We had some issues starting with COVID, but going forward where we need to have somebody notarizing something, we don't have somebody available to do so. So now we're getting pretty much everybody in the office to file with notary.
Law books and supplies, but Verizon Wireless,
Yeah.
$110.02.
We have, 2 cell phones that are used, one for the state's attorney, one for Brown Hall.
Okay. West, law books and supplies, $2,136.95. Except for all the COVID new laws.
What's that?
Except for all the COVID new laws.
Yeah. No, that's just how they nickel and dimes.
For a total of $5,241.19. Just come back.
Apologize.
That's okay. Thanks, sir. Not too much happening in the office in terms of things you guys will probably hear all that much about. One thing is we have a new attorney that's going to be starting up on Monday. The first name is Justina. I'm really bad with her last name, so I'm probably going to start calling her Justina Smith. I think it's pronounced Palashavitz. I'm getting it maybe right. I can get you the spelling later on, but she comes highly recommended from judges and attorneys that have worked with her. She's working in Oval right now. With the changeover from Eric Morrow to Mike Rock, a lot of people are unsure where their futures were. She was willing to come forward with us. Pretty excited to have her there. She's been a seasoned attorney for a while. She's going to be doing primarily traffic and misdemeanor, mental health petitions, and juvenile cases that come up. Now, Grace, like any other attorney that we have in the office, we'll probably have them assigned to trials as they come out. If it's a felony trial, I trust her to do those. She's done several trials beforehand, so I know she'll do well with them. So that's what we've got going on with that. I can jump into the collection stuff if you want, or if you want to get through the claims with them, we can come back around.
Yeah, just go ahead with the collection.
Okay, so there's a little bit to get through with it. The short of it is, Harris and Harris did not seem as though they were doing as much work as they should be doing for us. So my office compliance officer, Patty, did a great job noticing this and sitting down with them, as well as my first assistant, Brian Graham, to try to figure out how we can produce more money from collections, how we can get that number up. Right now, the number that we have is about 18,000, a little over 18,000 has been collected, but there's about what would be in collections about 6 million or so. Now, a good month for us up to this point was about $3,000. You'll also notice that there were some issues with COVID for the tax intercept, with that tax date being pushed back and with the intercept letter being put into place that we could actually start getting some of that. When we met with Harris and Harris, they said another option that we weren't using, that we should be using, because it gives them more teeth for collections, is wage garnishment. I'm going to be having a talk with Judge Acker as the presiding judge to see how they feel about that, because if I don't have judges on board for it, it's not going to matter anyway. I'm optimistic that we'll be able to do that. I think we'll see an increase in the numbers at that point. Another one of the things that we looked at was what could actually be collected on. For the tax intercept, it has to be a case that is 7 years old or newer for them to be able to do it. Some of these cases we have going back into the 90s, where we had one individual that's got several thousands of dollars that we would not be able to do tax intercept based on the age of the case. So we've been looking at that, who would be eligible for collections and who would be what we would say that are in the category of being collected. And those that would be collectible would be about $3,142,634. The uncollectible amount is those type of people that are either on warrant status or incarcerated, or they're set to be vacated, their fine fees and costs because either they're cast or something along those lines. So that's some of the stuff that goes along with it. Now, when you look at the number, that would be around the $6 million number. Keep in mind too that whenever we have a collection fee that goes through, Harris gets a 30% collections fee. So we don't get that whole 100%. A lot of this stuff too, about $3 million, give or take, also includes restitution. Restitution doesn't come to the county, it goes directly to the person that's affected by whatever the crime was. If it's property damage, if it's counseling, whatever it may be. So that's also a number that does not be coming to the county in terms of the collections process.
That included in the 6 million?
Correct.
But it's not part of the 3146?
3146.
That 3,142?
That's the amount that would be collectible, yes. So we're looking at roughly what could be collected by the county would be about 1.5 million when it's all said and done. When you take 30% out, you look at the people that were uncollected on, and as well as the restitution amounts.
I have to look back. Like 10 years ago, Linda Geeson made or however long until Linda Geeson was in office, she made a very prominent try collecting some of these old debts. And I think it was up around 2 million at that time. So that sound right, Denise?
Yeah, it was, as far as collectible.
Yeah. Yeah.
But your collectible and what is collected for the county are two different things.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking collectible that it's within the time frame, that they're working, and that they're not incarcerated. That's a different number than how much of that. So that 2 million she was gonna collect wasn't just county money. It was the total fines and fees that person owed. So this number is still within that.
I mean, we're still in that general range.
Yeah.
When you mentioned 6 mil, Charlie, I thought, boy, we've been really dragging our feet here.
No.
So
So that's,
half of that.
it looks like a,
restitution.
yeah.
And that wasn't included, I'm sure Linda didn't include that.
Would not,
Yeah.
And then the collection agents get 30% off the top.
But I
And so-
thought they added on, that we got our amount, they added 30% on top.
That's what
Okay, I didn't know. Some, I think, do.
What we have seen though is that, with more warrants being handed out and the amounts that are on the warrants, we're actually getting more from the warrants at this point than the collections. But I think with the wage garnishment and the tax intercept, we're gonna see a big jump on that.
And I hear, how long have we had Harrison here? Because I was surprised that.
Recognize that name.
Yeah, but I'm surprised that they're not keeping up, I guess. It's good that she
Yeah,
picked that up because.
And Patty's done-
And the thing you can't figure out is if money in their pocket, why the heck are they not pursuing all this?
Well, if they're not working for us, they're working for another county. Their money is all right.
Yeah, well, I see. Yeah, I get, yeah.
so we were a little discouraged by it, but after the
Uh-huh.
conversation that Patty had with them, I'm optimistic that they're gonna be paying more attention. They're gonna be doing more. And if they're not, we'll address that as time comes.
Okay, yeah. And I can agree. Obviously, if there's more
Yeah.
in another,
Oh,
they're
they're
gonna
not gonna-
concentrate on that instead of us.
Correct.
Yeah. The dollar,
The easy dollar.
Yeah.
yes.
They're going after that little hanging fruit. Yeah.
Okay, any questions? Charlie, got it?
That's it, yeah.
Any questions for
Got some
Charlie?
updates on some cases, if you guys care much about it. James Griffin was a drug dealing case, delivery of controlled substance. He received 16 years in the Illinois Department of Corrections. We had another armed robbery suspect, it was Joshua Parker. He received 16 years in the Illinois Department of Corrections as well. It was the US Cellular case, guys went in there, stole some phones and such. He was one of the co-defendants on that. And then Jacob Shaw received 25 years in the Illinois Department of Corrections for predatory criminal sexual assault.
Was Parker also involved in the ones up in Rockford too?
Not as far as I'm aware, he had a couple cases in the South, I believe.
So they had the cell phone robberies up in Winnebago County too, and I didn't know if he's part of that or.
Sure, if he was, it's not my knowledge.
Okay, thank you.
Great, Charlie, thank you very much.
Good job, Phil.
Thanks.
Where for funds? Make my life that much easier, aren't you?
Yeah, the first one's out of county general for postage.
Okay.
I'm just gonna stand up.
All right. Pitney Bowes, $47.37.
37 or 1?
31, I apologize.
Thank you, Charlie.
Yeah, I'll be back.
Okay.
Drop this off.
I am a little dyslexic. Lee County probation, home confinement.
This one's out of home confinement, it's 28 in Van County.
$345.
Some need to be a little back.
Let's do that one. Drug court? Jane LaFever, $585. Redwood Labs, $198.50. Reconnect Incorporate for $230. There's one more. And Robert Taylor for $901.
Total of $1,914.50. And that's drug court, right?
Correct.
That's correct. attorneys,
That's probation.
probations, I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
This is probation. Probation services, yes. Charlie walked in and just. Okay, US Bank, $491.39. SBM, $79 for attorney quote. US Bank, $129.97.
Locking up the food.
Well, no, not necessarily. It's for chain of custody for the drug testing specimens. And we don't put the food in that refrigerator, by the way. 2 different fridges.
CBW Government and Corporate, $89.59. Road Ranger, $15.58. Verizon Wireless, $385.30. Quill for supplies, $80.89. US Bank, $296.82. SBM Supplies, $16.32. US Bank Card, $690. That's a one purchase.
If I remember right, I think that was for a training session for 3 different people. All of our training is virtual, it's online now, so.
Out of Kentucky.
Yeah, APPA, Lexington, Kentucky for American Probation Parole.
Okay. $427.72 for Redwood Toxicology Labs.
Total of $2,702.58. And it's the probation services fund, 17.
State's training some people.
Yeah, listen. I'm gonna pass this much, maybe we'll check on it.
All right, good, I'll keep that in mind. You got a few bigger claims, and I'll be sure to stick it. We have a probation officer that's gonna be leaving us at the end of August. She is going to her home county, which is Bureau County. She's been with us for 4 years. So we put all the effort and the time forth in training her and is now going to Bureau. 4 years experience with Lee County. She's making more at the starting salary in Bureau than she has after 4 years here with us. So it was an easy decision. Insurance seems to be a little bit more attractive to her as well there and a little bit less costly. So she is on the move, so we are looking for a new probation officer for us. So hopefully by next month we've got something.
Okay,
Can't blame her.
No.
Bettering herself is fine.
And she's a very good officer, very well respected throughout the courthouse. Does a very good job for us.
Okay, thanks, Stacy. Any questions for Stacy, by the way? Thanks. Okay. Kevin,
Kevin's off, but he did leave I'll bring it up here for you. Left a little chat.
okay, she was gonna explain about that mitigation plan and the possible reimbursement. Maybe he did there.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I can't.
Their prize for the one that can read.
Let me see if I can, I'll put it,
blur across the screen.
I'll put it in, where, yeah. Something of it.
We do have his claims to go through though after we look at this.
There you go.
I'll just read that so that, or are they seeing this, Mike?
I can share it it's Katie and Tim, so.
Well, I can see it because it's in the chat, but I don't know, hopefully everybody else can, whoever's on.
Yeah,
Do you wanna
and
read
Tim would
it?
be on the
So-
phone.
I'll just go ahead and read it, then we'll have a record of it in the minutes. From Kevin Lally, to everybody here, I need to jump out to attend a Cures Program Technical Assistance webinar on the process to submit for COVID reimbursement. For my report, ComEd has opened the JOC Joint Operations Center in the Lee County EOC to manage outages, 10 p.m. on Monday night. During the storm, over 60% of customers were without power in Lee County. Last evening, Lee County outages were at 40%. Today, we are close to 10% or 2,117 customers. Some are critical: nursing homes, water and pumping stations, police, fire stations, and schools. I have them prioritized in APR, whatever that means, APRL. As some come back online, others drop due to faults caused by wires down. I expect the numbers to continue to change up and down. I received reimbursement of $19,400. We continue to reserve a 30, I suppose that would be 30-day supply of PPE for LTRHC and first responders for phase 2 of COVID. Any questions? Please feel free to email or call.
He loves his acronyms, man.
Yeah,
Martin,
He
Charlie?
loves his acronyms.
Yeah.
law enforcement.
Thank you, Kevin. Okay, we do have,
Hey, Mike. Can you send it?
Yeah, I'll have to go background on that resolution.
If you have saved and worked.
okay, you want to do
Get it after claims.
after claims? Okay, all right, well, Kevin's got some claims here, we'll go ahead and run through.
All right, got US Bank Visa totaling $22.81. We do have receipts. SMB customer for COVID-19 account, I believe, $64.
This printer maintenance, it says here, yes.
The printer maintenance, yes. I think, is it coming out of the COVID-19 account?
Yeah, this
We
COVID.
bought a printer for over there early on, a high capacity printer.
Mhm.
And because we bought it, rather than leased it, we had to use some.
Home Depot Pro for disinfecting electrostatic hand sprayer, $1,450. $1.23.
That thing's pretty crazy looking too. Looks like a bug spray.
Yeah.
That's the thing he wears on his back.
Yeah.
I said, you're looking a little bit like Ghostbusters.
Uh-huh.
He can fume that courthouse and this, or that courtroom, and this room, a matter of, that's an half an hour for the whole thing. It's great, because we had a zoning meeting in there last night. We'll have to-
Is it all, yeah, it's electrostatic.
Yeah, yeah.
B part, signs for the old courthouse, $180. Okay, for the COVID claim, total is $1,720.04. And these are Kevin's 19 claims, I believe.
Okay, SMB customer desk move, $240. Farbeck Communications annual radio maintenance for $1,860.84. And Nelson Auto Sales for equipment, $75.84. US Bank Visa totaling $165. We do have receipts. Maybus, Division 38, for $100. Kevin Lally, $10, reimbursement for meal.
Total for EMA claims for county general, $2,451.68. You want these separated on this claim sheet, because they're the COVID ones, I'll just put the COVID underneath the county general then. Okay. Okay, next up would be the public defender. And we just got 2 claims, I'll just read them. One's SBM for office supplies, $106.43. And postage, $110. Total of $216.43. Oh, I do, I got it. Yeah. That. Okay, we got George.
Yep.
Judge Lee. No claims this month. Judge Klein.
S&B, $161.
For a total of 161 for Judge Klein. Judge Acker didn't have July. Judge Draper, no claims this month. But Judge Acker has some for this month.
Okay. Thomas Murray, $2,700. Language line, $11.13. SMB, office supplies, $108.79. Dr. Matthew Finn, $1,300. Herman, Gilbach, Badger, and Constantine, $275. Lori Middleton, $24. U.S. Bank, Illinois State Bar Association, $772.89. Okay, Hinkley Springs for $94.50. Monthly water. SBM, $44. West Payment Center, $721.62. July on land services.
Mike, was there one for, Jan Horner transcript fee for $36? It probably got stuck on the back.
What was the one before it?
SPM, $44.
Paper clips, grab.
Yes, they do. Yes, sir, there was. $36. Thank you. Looking at U.S. Bank for $288.91. SBM, office supplies, $54.56. Language line, $19.01. Sauk Valley Media, $204.75. Dr. Matthew Finn, $1,300. The total, $7,955.16.
Break it?
Yeah, bro. I'm tough on my stuff. That's all our bills.
What we're gonna
Okay.
do, you guys?
That's all the claims. Motion to approve the claims.
I emotionally approve the claims.
Motion by Mike, I'll second it. In favor? Aye.
Aye.
Tim's around too, so.
They're all in favor? You there, Katie? You there,
I mean-
Tim?
Yeah.
Yes on the approval of claims?
Tim said yes.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
Okay, good.
Okay, moving on. John was gonna give just a real, quick briefing on the mitigation plan.
Yeah, the resolution, for participation in Lee County, multi-jurisdictional law has its mitigation plan. Essentially what it is about, probably 6 or 8 months ago, Kevin and Andrea Foster from the state put on a seminar over at the, public safety building. And it included, I think you were there, Stacy, you were there, see that? There were several participants, I mean, it was from various people around the county. Steve Persons was there on behalf of, I believe, ComEd, and there were probably 20 of us from the fire chiefs and so on. Essentially, all this is a resolution saying that Lee County participates in this, it's something that has to be done every 5 years, and it qualifies you for, in case of some sort of natural disaster, it will qualify people for low interest loans. So also reimbursement to EMA and so on. So it's pretty cut and dried. We've done it every 5 years as long as I can remember. Unless somebody has questions, so.
Just,
Boilerplate.
need a motion to move it on
Yep,
to,
let's move it on.
executive.
Put it on the agenda.
Sure.
I motion we move it on to the executive.
I'll second that motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I,
Okay, we'll move it on to, executive.
Yeah, moving on to executive. Then Kevin kind of gave a little blurb on the reimbursement. for
Yes.
COVID-19. You only have, you go ahead, I have one other minor thing.
I have nothing at this point. Mike, do you have anything?
I got a question.
Yes, Becky.
For Denise's policy for the COVID, do we wanna, can we give a recommendation then to executive, or what do we, just put it on the, for the COVID testing?
COVID testing and stuff.
Plan to.
Oh, I see what Denise was getting on.
I think you probably need to call the insurance company
Yeah.
first and find out what it is. If you want, make a motion to pass it on to executive, their
Well, it's
research.
not on
It can't be on the
Yeah,
agenda either.
can't do it.
But can we make a recommendation? Talk about it
We'll talk about it tomorrow. a little bit.
or just bring it up?
You can discuss it, you can't take any action.
Yeah, can't. do
Right.
any action. I'll call the insurance company and find out. And it is an individual initiative because we can't do it. So
But what does our insurance cover? That's really what we need to know.
that's what we
I
need to
mean,
know.
if you don't go to a hospital or if you don't have symptoms or you weren't exposed to somebody, then do they cover if those essentials happen? And if you're on your own, if nothing happened and you're just trying to be proactive, I don't know.
Yes.
But we just need some parameters to give people some guidance and how we help them.
And how
Help
we're
us
gonna
all
get the money
through
back
this.
and how we're gonna
Yeah.
determine who goes where.
That's
I agree. I
a
mean,
lot of.
I'm surprised KSP doesn't do it because they're
Well,
bleeding quite a bit of money on this.
And you know, I don't know what they have in testing and I don't know, I mean, it's a movable thing. It seems like it changes all the time. So the target is maybe not today the same as it was at the beginning. I'm sure it's not. And maybe they can only get tests for the people that have been exposed or are having symptoms. I don't know. Maybe they just have to have those parameters.
I'm sure it comes down to, I haven't really dug into it too much, but what you read, the hospitals are really capitalizing on this in a lot of ways and getting repaid and reimbursed more money, in my opinion, more money than the services worth.
Well, and some of the reimbursements, as my understanding, is because of the procedures and things and patients they couldn't see.
Yeah.
So they were losing money
Yeah,
because they were
right.
closed down.
They have to catch up.
Yeah, so I think it's a two-pronged situation.
I'll try to get hold of somebody at the hospital. I
Yeah,
talked to a fellow down there anyway and find out exactly what, find out what the hospital does. And
Yeah.
and why they don't do it.
Is it a rapid test? Is it
well,
a week result thing?
yeah,
or
my
what?
exposure is about 3 days.
Is it?
The people that I've had
And
more
that's
people
the old
test.
nose thing or what's?
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, when you get into HIPAA, when you start asking questions,
Right.
and so
We'll make it generic, we'll find out, have a discussion. The only other thing I have, is, Charlie Thomas resigned from the board, a month ago, a little over a month ago. And Arlen McLean had run essentially unopposed 3-3. So I will appoint Arlen McLean to serve out Charlie Thomas's 3 months now, 4 months. And then he will be running in November and he will undoubtedly become part of the board again. Arlen McLean brings vast knowledge to the board and he was a former finance chairman, just, a lot of experience there, so.
Do we need a, send a resolution? It's gotta be by resolution.
Yeah, I'll just make the
And then
resolution.
put it on executive, yeah.
So,
All right. So
I'm
we
just
don't
doing
need
more
a,
for, no, I'm doing it for information. I was just making everybody aware.
okay,
That's what was going on.
we don't need a,
Lee County Republican Party has said, fine, go ahead and do it, if they're endorsing Arlen McLean, so.
okay, so that being said, just curious, are you appointing this committee then too?
I haven't made that decision, but I was.
I just didn't want
No, I haven't made the decision what appointments. But we'll probably do whatever Charlie was doing. That's logical.
Wasn't there things with the COVID that if people were needing testing, that it was supposed to be taken care of through the insurance? Is that just due to,
Through county employees or just something through executive order or what do you mean?
I thought there was, when this all started coming out and everyone needed to be tested before they could go back to work and stuff, that it came down, that it might have been an executive order, that it would be paid for through insurance companies to keep the businesses going.
I have to dig into that. I'm not familiar with that being part of it.
And this is just off the top of my head. You know. It might have been something that has been canceled since then because.
And especially when you start talking about people taking elective trips and you're going on vacation somewhere, insurance companies probably aren't gonna want to cover that because it wasn't something you had to do.
Well, yeah, it doesn't have to.
Yeah, sometimes you have to.
Makes us all a little happier.
Okay, if anybody have anything else to add? Kate, anything?
No,
Tim? Okay,
Jim.
motion to, oh, excuse me, Mike.
I just want to, Denise's payment of the video arraignment stuff in the courtrooms, just an update on those cameras and stuff have been installed. Zach worked with them, it's been about almost a month ago. All have been installed in the courtrooms.
There's
All of it.
four of them, right?
There's four,
Yeah.
yep, one in each. Those have been tested, and knock on wood, I've heard they work pretty well. And again, those are working to communicate with the jail and with any DOC related. So as long as they're DOC related and now at the jail, those will offer the video arraignment. Again, heard some pretty good feedback, but they're working well. So just an FYI that they have been installed and
Good,
working.
that
So,
sounds good, yeah.
Yep.
Speed things up a little bit. Move things along.
To expound on that a little bit, the original ones didn't work really well at all. Am I correct, Charlie?
Sorry.
The video arraignment,
Yes, they're working a lot better.
the old ones really were bad.
Yep, I think they work a lot better for like Zoom, but
yeah, so the stuff that was installed, we still utilize for Zoom, Teams, whatever, the vast communications, whatever that they have to offer. So each judge does have a Zoom account set up and are able to coordinate and create meetings. And so that equipment that originally was installed is still there and still being utilized. So there's no waste there actually, so.
And I want to give a shout out to Denise because she had fun, what was the name of it? The funding we took that money out, that 28,000.
Well,
Coordination.
automation of document storage.
So she had a fund that
Automation.
paid the new upgraded Cadillac of the type of the video arraignment. Not only that, but she took in money toward the new phone system and then an system.
When will that start?
It's my understanding that when what research they needed, and they're going to start by the end of the month.
Okay, so, I'm only wondering, so I can make sure as far as dollars, will it all be out of this year's budget or some this?
Some of it's
some
come,
that?
we split it up into two budgets.
Perfect.
One was originally, was split essentially down the middle based on different components of the bids that needed to be done. And then at the end, there was a $50,000 tab that for the moving of the fiber optic, because you had to do that first. So the first half was larger than the second half. And that was all passed last month. So Physic is going to be the essentially no bid contractor on it to keep it consistent with what we've done.
Yeah.
And what's already in there, plus the law enforcement.
Sole source.
Sole source provider. There it is.
assuming that the county board passes that resolution.
Yes.
That's, I see that.
The essentials first.
Yeah. It's always best to know who to grab by the shirt tail.
Okay, thanks, Mike, for the update. And Denise, thank you. Anything else for the good? Motion to adjourn.
My motion we adjourn.
I'll second that motion. All in favor?
I.
Meeting adjourned. Becky, you want these,
You want me to- Yeah, I'm going with mine.
okay. Who gets the claim sheet? So that go downstairs?
Charlie, have you guys submitted an email so we know get her set up and get the new?
Yeah, I think Sarah may have already contacted us.
You might have put it to design or through IT support. I just want to make sure we got,
Yeah.
do we
Yeah.
need a computer?
We're gonna